So you don't have time to consume an entire podcast, that's okay. Enjoy the highlights on TRS Clips. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell icon. You're my 150th episode probably, roughly, in total. Both you and Gauranga Das Ji were so happy as people. And I personally feel like that is the, while we all have different purposes, I feel like happiness is the purpose of life for so many of us. Which human being doesn't want to feel joy and peace? And I feel like if you have joy and peace as the core of yourself, it overpowers everything else. Even if you have joy and peace and you are a big political leader, or you're a big, say, I don't know, if you're heading a rebellion,
Right.
if joy and peace is your core, you will first try to come to a joyous, peaceful conclusion.
Right.
And you won't want to cause physical, emotional, mental harm on any other soul, irrespective of who they are. So my outlook on it is that I understand what you're saying and I hear you about it not being your response, but I mean, I just hope people pick up the happiness and peace from the work
Yes.
you are doing, from the work that we're trying
And
to
the
do.
entire Kurukshetra battle was orchestrated by Krishna in response to the adharma which he saw.
Yes, sir.
And, in that sense, Krishna was right there. And at the same time, Krishna was the one who stopped when he saw that, things were going beyond control also. So the important thing is not violence or non-violence. The important thing is not surgery or no surgery. The important thing is not how many liters of blood you lose in a surgery. But the important thing is, depending on the tumor, what does the surgeon decide to do? So I would say that, harmony and purpose is most important.
I have a burning question which has been beating in my heart since quite early on in this podcast. You mentioned the Garuda Purana, sir, when you were talking about, you were
Yes.
explaining ghosts to us. What else is in that book?
The Garuda Purana contains descriptions about how, from the time of death, how many days it takes for the soul to reach the next destination. And especially, there is a detailed description about the hellish planets. There is also description about what, we, the family members who are left behind, can do in terms of various rituals in order to create a better facility for those who have departed. So the Garuda Puran basically focuses on helping us understand that we have a responsibility towards our lives, and we also have a responsibility towards those who we were connected with in our family, not just in the immediate generation, but also several generations. So nowadays there is a whole lot of discussion on systems thinking, design thinking. So basically, if you look at the Vedic literatures and the Puranas, they bring forth a complete systems thinking approach to life and death. It's not just one person living and one person dying. We are connected to everyone else when we see our connection with the Supreme. So that's how this paradigm brings in.
So you spoke about hellish planets. We also had an astrophysicist on the show recently, so it just got me on thought tangents about the universe and how it's expanding.
Right.
So again, from the philosophies that you've read, sir, what is said about the universe, its expansion, multiple planes? I know these are very deep, very complex topics, but even if you could just introduce us a
Yes.
little bit to it.
Sure. Thank you for asking this question. In fact, in 2023, ISKON is going to be inaugurating one of the largest temples in the world. It's in Mayapur, which is around 150 kilometers north of Kolkata. And it's going to be known as the Temple of Vedic Planetarium.
Okay.
It's going to be a very unique temple where within the temple hall on the dome, you will get an answer to the exact question which you have asked. All the different planes and the planetary systems will be represented, and it will be in motion. And it will give everybody an idea when they have darshan of Radha Madhav that, we have been going through these cycles, the 14 planetary systems in the world. So from Brahmaloka down to the Patal Loka, the 14 planetary systems have been described. So Bhu, Bhuva, Swa, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satya, and then Rasatal, Talatal, Atal, Vital, Sutal, like that. So 14 total. So within these 14 planetary system, different levels of enjoyment and suffering have been embedded. Just like even in a city like Mumbai, you could be, staying in Altamount Road or Malabar Hill, or you could be staying in a place like Dharavi, or, depending on the kind of place you stay, there will be a certain experience. So that is basically what the 14 planetary systems within a particular universe is described as. And how to go beyond that is basically the topic of the Bhagavad Gita. So it gives you a complete, tourist guide view of where you can possibly tour and options beyond there also.
So where are we right now?
So we are currently in what is known as Bhuloka,
Okay.
which is right in the middle.
Okay. It's between heaven and hell.
Yeah. So the lower planets till the Patal is the 14th planetary system. After Patal, there is a description in the Bhagavatam of around 30 hellish planets.
30?
Hellish planets.
Okay.
So that is a separate division below Patal Loka. So again, when I say above, below, that is also not like something geographical up and down. But a fascinating description of this is there in 5th canto of the Bhagavad Purana. Especially if you go into the last 5 to 7 chapters, it is known as the cosmology of the universe. And in order to highlight that, the entire temple of Vedic planetarium is being built. The temple hall itself will be able to hold 10,000 people. Wow. And it's going to be one of the most fascinating temples, which will be educating people about what is the universe, what is beyond the universe, and where are you right now? Make my trip.
Also the journey of the soul.
Journey of the soul.
Those 30 hellish planets you spoke about, so what is their purpose? Because I've read so many articles on these kind of concepts. Some of the articles I read were that they hold beings from other dimensions, darker beings, which is what when we say that, oh, there was a demon in someone's house. Someone's escaped from one of those realms and it's entered Bhulok, our realm. But again, it's a very raw amount of
Yeah.
data I have in my head.
Right.
So what is the purpose of those hellish planets?
The purpose of those hellish planets is just like, certain criminals are held in Arthur Road jail. Certain people are held in Yeravada jail. Some people are held in solitary confinement. There are different degrees to which punishment is given. The purpose is reformation.
Okay.
The purpose of any imprisonment or punishment, even say when a parent punishes a child, the intention behind that is reformation, so that the person feels, I must change. So therefore, that's the ultimate purpose for that.
And they are different degrees of
Different
suffering in those planets. So depending on your karmas, you are sent to like one of those planets after.
Correct, like that.
And I'm sure that if you have good karmas, are you sent to 30 heavenly planets?
as I said, that in the Bhagavatam 5th canto, the residents of the heavenly planets, they are praying to Lord Vishnu. Kalpayushat sthana jayat punarbhavat kshanayushat bharata bhujayovaram. That, my dear Lord, we see a very incredible dichotomy. In the lower planets, in the hellish planets, the pain is too much for us to be able to focus on you. In the upper planets, it is atishaya indriya utsavat. Every moment there is incredible sense gratification available. Too much of bhoga, too much of enjoyment. So then also we cannot think of you. I think the best ecosystem where we can think of you and contemplate on you is the middle planetary system, Bhuloka. Even within that, Bharatvarsh has the best kind of ambience, the culture to be able to think about you.
You mean in India is the best place
Exactly.
for spiritual growth?
So that's what the prayer is in the 5th canto.
Wow.
Kshanayushat Bharat Bhujayo Varam. Even one kshana
Mm.
for us is, and we see that it is a fact
Mm.
that if you have traveled all over the world, the way India is totally different.
So,
So many holy places, holy people. Within 2 hours, you will reach either a holy place or a temple or a this or that. So therefore, that's basically the three things which I always focus on. The goal, if you want to be a boxer or a weightlifter, you have to follow a process, of doing workout and everything. But with the process, there is the attendant environment you need. You need the dress, you need the diet, you need other, bodybuilders or boxers. So if your goal is spiritual advancement, you have to follow certain process of spiritual advancement. To follow that process, you need the favorable environment.
mm.
That favorable environment is most favorable in India.
Mm.
That's why India is the place which is the most favorable for spiritual advancement.
Mm.
Naturally, just like you say, America is a great, ecosystem for business or higher education, because it depends on the ambience, the environment which you create. So India automatically has that.